Repair after conflict within minutes in your relationships. When you get triggered, when you have an argument, when you have disagreement, how do you repair quickly? And there's 4 steps to go through. I'm going to take you through them right now in this video. I would recommend doing this with your partner as well. So if you get value from this, send it to your partner so you guys can be on the same page. Me and my wife use this to this day. We used it 2 nights ago and it worked perfectly. And I've taken over 10,000 clients through these processes. So it does work, heaps of testimonials to show it. The 3rd step is the most challenging part, and very, very few people ever talk about it or show you how to do it. So I'm going to spend a bit more time on the 3rd step. So with that being said, let's rock and roll. The acronym that I like using is RISE, R-I-S-E. So if you want to write this down on pen and paper, it will help you remember it. So the acronym is RISE, R-I-S-E. This is how you overcome conflict, disagreement, triggeredness, resentment, frustration, whatever disconnection you've got in your relationship. This is how you resolve it. And if you don't actually resolve this moving forward, eventually your relationship's going to end because the frustration and guilt and shame and disconnection just builds up until it ends. So recommend learn this ASAP. The R, let's kick it off. The R stands for regulation. You want to regulate when you get triggered. So when you have conflict, when you have disagreement, when you feel the heart rate start to race, when you feel yourself either getting anxious or fearful or disassociating, you've got some emotional tension or mental tension coming up for you. Do your best to regulate. Take a breath, breathe. So not always easy, by the way, because when you get triggered or activated, you age regress. You become how old you were when you first received the hurt or the trauma or the wounds or the conditioning. So this is not always easy, but it's very possible. So what me and my wife do, or my wife and I, what we do is we did this 2 nights ago when we had some conflict. We had a trigger come up. Like midway through it, like as we were like going back and forth and ping-ponging with each other and having a bit of a debacle, I was able to do it this time. My wife does it to me as well. I think she did it to me yesterday when I had one as well, a minor one. We both say, hun or babe, let's take a breath together. And even the ego and the stories and the resentment and all the thing that happens when you're in a conflict, and you know what I mean, it can be challenging, but it's definitely possible. So it happened again 2 nights ago. Something happened, trigger happened, tough conversation happened, and we both felt dysregulated. We both felt that disconnection. So I said, babe, can we just both take a breath together? Let's do it now. And if you need to do that 2, 3, 5, 10, 20 times if you need to, do what you need to do to regulate yourself. Because when you're knocked out of balance, when you are in a triggered response, you are not thinking clearly. Your prefrontal cortex, your frontal lobe, does not operate properly when you are in a triggered response. When you're in your sympathetic fight, flight, freeze, fawn response, you are not present. You are not connected. You're in your amygdala, which is your fight or flight center. It's like you're getting chased by a tiger. Pretend you and me were getting chased by a tiger. Do you think that's the appropriate time to say, hey, how can we repair here? How can we reconnect? How can we work through this? No, you're trying to survive. So get out of that survival response, that triggered response, by regulating. So I recommend, if you've sent this to your partner, or I recommend send this to your partner, have an agreement that when you guys are both in a triggered response, do your best to become aware of it. Then both or either of you have the permission to say, babe, can we take a breath together? Can we just take a big, deep, slow breath in and just slow down a little bit? Again, the ego, the stories, the judgments will probably be there, but you can get better at it. So R stands for regulate. I, the second step, is to inquire. You want to actually, this step can be challenging as well. All these steps can be challenging. Inquiring is actually stepping into your partner's perspective to understand where they're coming from. Now, this doesn't mean that you necessarily agree with what they're saying. I'm not saying that at all, but actually understanding what your partner's perspective is. Where are they coming from? Why are they triggered? Why did the thing that you did or didn't do, why did that upset them? You're not trying to prove them wrong or to win the argument or to use what they're saying and use it against them. It's to genuinely understand where they're coming from. Because here's the thing. I actually learned this from Alex Hormozi. Not that he does much relationship content. He mentioned something from a business angle, and I thought it was really useful. If 2 people are fundamentally aligned with the mission, and insert your relationship, if you are actually aligned with your partner, you guys want the same vision with your non-negotiables, you're aligned with each other. If one partner sees one thing and the other partner sees something else, it's probably because of missing information. One partner has information that the other partner doesn't. Because if you both had the exact same set of information and identity and beliefs and conditioning, you would have the same response. So if you love your partner, which I'm sure you do, and if you're actually aligned with your partner, as a side note, if you're not aligned with your partner, move on. I've done other videos on that, so you can go watch my other podcasts on that. It's the 3 foundation steps you need to make sure you're with the right partner. So I'm assuming you're aligned with your partner for this conversation, because if you're not aligned, I'm going on a side tangent. You're welcome. We're going down a rabbit hole. If you're with someone that you're not aligned with, then you're going to have a lot of conflict because you're trying to shove a square peg in a round hole. So that's going to repeat. I'll use religion. Not that I'm religious, but it's a good example because I'm not religious. Say, for example, you had a certain spiritual I'll use religion, sorry. You have a certain religious beliefs about you. You believe in this religion and this is how you must live life because of this religion's beliefs and conditioning, whatever. And say you dated me as an example, who doesn't share those beliefs. We aren't aligned with those beliefs. And you had in your mind, you had to be with someone who's aligned with those beliefs. We would get conflicted so many times because we fundamentally aren't on the same page. Think of that in a job or a business. If you want someone to do a job, to do a role, but they don't want to do that, they're not aligned with that role, you're going to have heaps of conflicts because you're just not aligned with each other. So that's the side tangent away. I'm assuming that you're aligned with this partner, because if you're not, move on. Find someone else. There's other people out there. Find someone that you're actually genuinely aligned with. I've got other podcasts. Go watch those, and you'll find it. You'll find it somewhere. So inquire. Let's get back to that. So you want to do your best to understand your partner's perspective. So you can ask questions such as, my love, can you just explain to me, what did I do or not do that triggered you? Or what did I do that upset you? Just so I can actually understand. Do your best, because I'm a human too, this happens to me. When they then respond to that, do your best to not butt in, to not say, well, nah, you're wrong, you misinterpreted that, that's your fault. Don't do that. Regardless of whether you agree with what they say or not, is not the point for this step. This step is for you to actually genuinely understand your partner's perspective, to make them feel seen, heard, loved, validated. Again, not saying they're right or wrong, you just see their perspective. So asking questions to genuinely understand. And I recommend have a level of curiosity. Hey, babe, I would love to actually understand because I think I've misinterpreted things. Can you just explain to me why you feel this way? What did I do? What did I not do? What did I say that actually made you feel this way? Because I genuinely want to learn. I want to understand how I can love you more. Something like that is perfect. And if you're regulated, that's going to work. If you're dysregulated, it's not going to work like that. So go back to step 1 and regulate yourself. Step 3. The S. This, for me, out of all the steps, this one's the hardest one. The S stands for separate. What does that mean? You separate 2 things: triggers and boundaries. And I've done a ton of content on this. Triggers are mirrors to you. Nothing triggers you, it reveals what's inside of you. If it's not life-threatening, it's identity-threatening. When you're triggered outside of real survival, so again, a tiger comes into your room, you're going to get triggered into survival responses. So anything that's not life-threatening and requires survival to kick in, all of your resistance, all of your triggers are actually just mirrors to you. And that's hard to comprehend if you've never seen me before, and this is a new concept. That concept is quite hard to understand. It's about beliefs, it's about trauma, perceptions, nervous system. It's all the identity work, which is actually my favorite conversation. But it's learning to discern between, okay, is this a trigger of mine? Or has a boundary been overstepped? Because if a boundary's been overstepped, you want to then realign. Well, that's the last step, is the action this. So I'll save that for step 4. The discerning or separation part is separating, is this a trigger of mine? Has my partner mirrored something back to me and activated me and reflected something that I haven't worked on yet? Or is this a behavior or a pattern or the way we relate not aligned with what we want together? And discerning between those two is quite a hard skill to do, because the ego, the human meat suit, the identity reaffirms itself. You might have heard the term, we don't see things the way they are, we see things the way we are. Listen to that again. We don't see things the way they are, we see things the way we are. So we project our identity into the reality that we live. This is the best analogy I got for this. Say you and me go and watch a movie together. We're watching a movie and we don't like what we see. Up on the front of the room, where the projector has projected onto the front of the screen. At the back of the room, there's a projector. At the front of the room, there's the projection. But you and me don't like what we see. So we run up to the front of the room and we try to move around the projection. We try to move it, we try to change it. Does that change the projection? Yes or no? No. Why not? Because the projector is the one creating the projection. Your perception is a projection. So if you're triggered by your partner and you have resistance in your life, not just in your partner, but obviously we're talking relationships right now, but in life, full stop, but let's use your partner, that resistance is a projection of you. It will come from past hurt. Past hurt creates future fear. And that trigger, that mirror, is an opportunity for you to heal and grow and work on your stuff. Now, I've done so many pieces of content, podcasts, my book even has this stuff in it, but go down that rabbit hole. If you want help with this, by the way, I have a free school community. The link's down below. You can join that for free, where I give you the processes to do this work. But if you have emotional charge and you're triggered, activated, then it is a mirror to you regardless of what they've done. And that is hard to comprehend. What if they yelled? What if they abused? What if they did all these things? If it's not life-threatening. Again, if your partner physically hurt you, then there's a life-threatening response that's going to happen. Again, that's appropriate. It's appropriate to go into a survival response if it's required. I'm speaking if it's not survival required, it's a mirror to you. What was your partner doing? What was your partner being? What were you scared to be seen as? For any of my clients, you understand these questions I'm asking. You're looking for the projection. You're looking for what's the perception, which is trauma, or what is the belief that is triggering me in this moment, that my partner is mirroring back to me in this moment, and the trigger is an opportunity for you to go heal, versus this is a boundary or a behavior that oversteps a boundary, and you reinforce a boundary. I'll use a silly example to hopefully land this for you. I'm in my room right now. I'm in my office. My door is closed. A boundary that I have for my wife is don't come into the office when my door is closed because I'm working. Because I might be with a client doing a trauma process, doing an integration process. Obviously, I'm filming a podcast right now for you guys. So a boundary is don't come into my office because I'm working. Say right now, she barges in here. She opens up that door and she sprints in here and she's, hey, what's going on? Say I turned around and I got triggered and had resistance towards her and said something like, get the F out of here. What the F are you doing? And I had emotional charge towards that. She has triggered me. She has mirrored something back to me. Rude, dismissive, arrogant, blah, 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 whatever the thing is that she did. So that's an opportunity for me to heal, even though she did step over a boundary. Because why couldn't I say, hey, my love, is everything okay? Is it urgent? No, give me 20 minutes. What's the difference? Emotional charge. So again, emotional charge, triggeredness is mirrors to you versus here are the standards and the agreements and boundaries that we hold each other to. So that leads us, so separation, that's step 3. Separate triggers versus boundaries. And then we move to the last step, the E is evolve. What are you doing to move forward, to progress this situation? I'll give you one for each. So if you're triggered, it is on that partner who is triggered to go do an integration process on whatever was triggered. If it's a belief, we want to rewrite that limiting belief. That process is free inside of my school community. Join, go do it for free. It's life-changing. Had tens of thousands of people go through that now, which is really cool. So go do that if you want to. If it's trauma, if it's abandonment, judgment, criticism, unheard, unloved, unsafe, unseen, whatever the trauma is, then you want to do a integration. In my world, my balancing process, any of my clients that have done it, you know what I'm talking about. We do a balancing process to rebalance your perception towards that wound. Then here's the thing. When you heal, when you change that identity piece, when you rewrite that belief or you heal that trauma, those triggers and those patterns and those conflicts go away. You grow, you evolve. That's the best part. How good's that? And then the other part, the boundaries point. If it's a boundary, you just reinforce a boundary. Hey, babe, look, I appreciate I'll use a live one. So we had one. I wasn't planning to share this, but being vulnerable, right? Let's be vulnerable in our content. So we had one that came up, I think it was, I'm going to say a month ago, and it was a trigger of mine. So I got triggered. So we're doing our cleanup routine at night. So like dishes, kitchen, all that stuff. And my wife, she was dysregulated. She had a big day. We've got a newborn baby, if you're not aware. And she was a bit dysregulated, and she said something that overstepped a boundary. Like she said something that wasn't nice the way that she said it. It was quite a condescending or rude thing to say, but it triggered me. So I got activated by it. So it was a trigger for me to work on. It was condescending. That was the trait. So she was condescending. Well, I perceived her to be condescending based on my projection of my identity, right? So she said something that was over a boundary, but it still triggered me. And that actually resulted in a bit of a conflict. And we did the same process. We used RISE. We went through this process. And I'll skip to the end of it to get the point across. So we regulated. We understood each other. We inquired within each other. We separated our stuff. And the takeaway for me is I have a wound around being condescending or being condescended against. So that comes from past hurt, future fear. So that's on me to go sit with. That's my opportunity to grow. That's my opportunity to heal and evolve. However, there's still also a boundary that we enforce as well. Babe, that's on me. So to give you a bit of a script there. Babe, thank you so much for reflecting this back to me. That's a wound for me to go heal. I'm going to go sit with that. I'm going to do some integration work on that. Thank you for that opportunity. Also, you did do this. This behavior is not aligned with the type of relationship that we both want to have. So moving forward, let's act like this instead. Does that make sense? I hope I tied the knot off there well. There are triggers that we work on. It's your opportunity. If you're triggered, it's you. If your partner's triggered, it's them. It's the individual's ownership of their own triggers to work on their triggers. Do processes, do the work, join my community. I can help you with that. Versus there are boundaries that we hold each other to. I hope that made sense. Let me know if you've got any questions, takeaways. Leave your thoughts down below. Send this to your partner so you can communicate it. If you guys could like the video, subscribe. It helps more than you realize. And if you want those processes, I've got my processes for free inside of my school community. Join the link below. It's free to join. You can even grab a call with me if you want to upgrade as well. And I appreciate you. Have a great day. Speak to you soon. Bye-bye.